Perfectly Normal, a podcast that brings you love, courage, and connection. And I'm your host, Michelle. I'm a life coach, artist, author, and pharmacist. I'm the founder of Elevate Life Coaching. It's a seminar and coaching company. Let's jump right into the show. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining in. This week, what keeps showing up for me is purpose. For some reason, like everyone I talk to, or some of the stuff and articles I'm reading, it all shows purpose. You ever get those feeling where you open the magazine or you turn on TV and like there's a common message that you just keep seeing over and over and over? Like maybe it's a word, or maybe it's something that an event that happened, or just something that keep repeating itself. And sometimes, whether it's good or bad, sometimes those repetition is a signal that the universe is sending to us, and then say, you know what, this is something that you need to look at. And so here I am, I'm going to looking at it. And what came up for me this whole week is purpose. Or if you don't like the word purpose, think of it as, a reason. So over the weekend, I was at this event to empower women, and I was a keynote speaker. So the event came about sometime last year. I started to work with the event coordinator starting last October. And she found me because she sent a request to me, and she was looking for a keynote speaker for her event. And she told me that it was a woman in power event, and she really liked my book. And she thought, my story was really inspirational. So there, we were moving forward. And last Saturday, I delivered the speech. I gave the keynote event. And at the end of the event, she shared something very inspirational, and I'd like to share that with you. So back in January 2019, there was this young woman. She and her fiance decided they're going to walk down the aisle. So the whole family was really immersed in joy, and they were all happy. So everyone started planning the wedding. Looking for those of you who have planned a wedding before or have gone through that planning process, you know how tedious it is, looking for a wedding dress and looking for a venue. I remember when my sister got married, I was helping her and doing all these, setting up the bridal shower and all these tasting events, and you want to make sure everything is perfect. So there's a lot of energy that was set forth to plan a wedding. And wedding is a big thing. It's a big change that we experience in our lives. So of course you wanted to make sure that everything goes perfect. So of course, just like any other wedding, they put all their energy into planning this, and they had the venue all set. But comes in June 2019, suddenly the bride had learned that the groom actually was cheating on her. And he decided to call off the wedding, and there was no wedding anymore. So as you can imagine, the bride was devastated. And so was the family. The family went, put through all these energy in planning the wedding, and here we are, it's off. You have to return your wedding dress, you have to cancel all the appointment, you have to, notify all your friends and family. I mean, talk about that feeling of betrayal and hurt. Can you imagine what they were going to do? So the problem is they already paid for the venue, and the venue could not be canceled. So it was a choice between, well, okay, just let the money go to waste, or let's look at the venue and see if we can do anything about it. So they did something about it, obviously. And so they chose to host this women empowerment event so that all the other women who's experiencing some struggle or challenges in their life can come into and get together and just be inspired by someone else's story or someone else's, speech. So that's how the event came about. And so they invited me because they liked my story. And the theme of that event was called Her Shape. So the shape stands for spiritual, heart, ability, personality, and experience, which really is really fitted for, the book that I published, Perfectly Normal. So when you look at the venue, the banner, they had it arranged. It read, "Her shape, perfectly normal." So it was really, really inspiring for women to attend those events. So we had over 80 guests who showed up that day, and it was just amazing. When you have a lot of women and who's really truly believing in empowering each other, that energy is just amazing. So that was the event. But the story, the message that I'm trying to tell you is that had it not been the wedding that got canceled, we wouldn't have this event to allow us to empower other women. So the wedding got canceled because there was something bigger and greater that needed to take place in place of that wedding. And if you were to look at as everything has a reason, everything happens for a reason, then what opportunity can you learn, can you draw from that experience that you may have labeled it as unpleasant, unwanted? What opportunity can you learn from going through that unpleasantness or going through that challenge? What insights can you gain from that experience? Which made me think about, all the things that had happened in my life. In the past, I was associating all my bad feelings or, feelings that of being depressed or not happy or I don't feel good about myself. All that experience that I saw it as, well, of course, these things always happen to me, or these things just happen to me. It was all about me, 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 me. But I never thought about, well, maybe there's a lesson that I need to learn. This is why the message keeps showing up. This is why I notice there's a pattern, because these are the lessons that I need to learn in this lifetime. And this is why it keeps showing up. So if I haven't done the work, if I haven't put in a commitment to do the work, then of course, it's like, your teacher giving you an assignment, right? You didn't complete it. So what does your teacher do? The teacher will send it back to you and just keep pushing it so that you finally sit down and start doing your work. And once you do your work, then you move on. And what you learn from that work, from doing that work, is something bigger. It's something greater than what you originally thought, right? What do you get from doing that homework that your teacher assigned you to? Knowledge, wisdom. You learn something that you never learned before. So there's always good coming out of something that's unpleasant, that's unwanted. But it's all depending on how you labeled it and how you perceive it. So I actually met with the woman, the young lady whose wedding got canceled, and we spoke after the event. And I was just thanking her for her bravery, because it takes a lot of courage to, show up on the day of the event, on the same day that your wedding was supposed to take place. And it takes a lot of courage to do that. So I went up and I thanked her for her bravery. And I also told her, she had this pair of shoes that she was wearing on that day, and it was just beautiful. So I use that analogy of the shoes. It's like, you go through life and it's, imagine yourself just going to a shoe store. You have a lot of pair of shoes, and shoes represent, life experience, and there's different life experience that we all go through. So you try on a pair of shoes and it didn't fit. It hurt you. So what do you do when a pair of shoes that doesn't fit you? You take it off and you try on another one until you find the perfect pair that fit you. And that's what life is about. Keep trying, learning, and always see the opportunity that you can draw from that experience and learn from that experience. And something is keep showing up. And when you notice there's a pattern, go back and look at that pattern. Everything happens for a reason. So I hope you all enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you next week. And if you're interested to learn more about what I do, or you're interested in doing one-on-one coaching or sign up on my group coaching, you can always find me on my website at elevatelifecoaching.org. By the way, I am offering a group circle here in Pasadena. So I'm training a woman who likes to become a public speaker or like to really develop that skills of speaking. Then you need to talk to me because I'm starting your circle right here in Pasadena. So check out my website, elevatelifecoaching.org. Hey, thanks for joining me this week on Perfectly Normal. Make sure to visit my website at elevatelifecoaching.org. And if you found values in this show, I appreciate a rating on iTunes and Spotify. Or you can simply tell a friend about the show. That will really help me too. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. And be sure to tune in next week for our next episode.